Yeah, there's a lot of opinions around like people with lots of money. And, because it's like, oh, you don't need that much money. And my philosophy is no, I want to make as much money as I can because, my tagline is make more to give more. So my whole focus is, yeah, there's my life, my lifestyle and all that. But at a certain point, unless you're just like living a ridiculous life, you got enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't look at it as now because enough's about just me. There's always more people out there. If I had more resources, yeah, I could help that many more people. So now
Yeah.
giving to me changes everything. And it's my focus on why I do things. It's not just about me.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking us out. This is the Selfish Show where I ask questions about the selfish and then I selfishly ask questions of, my guests. And on today's episode, we have my good friend Bruce Barleans. Thanks for being on the show, my friend. For those that don't know you, will you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do?
Well, some people think that I only fish, but that's not true. It is a passion though.
Yeah.
But, I own multiple companies in different sectors, some software. Barley's is my big company in the health food supplements and Hawaiian wellness company. And of course, a fishing lodge. Had to throw
Yes.
that in there.
Yeah.
And just an advocate too, how to do things God's way. And so, we've had a lot of those conversations over the years.
Yes, we have. I've learned so much about so many things, man. You've really shaped my sense of self and my identity. And you recently had this TED Talk that you put out. TEDx Cincinnati had you out, and you have a talk on TEDx. I'll link it in the show notes. So if you're watching this and you want to check out his TED Talk, listen to this and then go listen to his TED Talk. But you gave your principles on Givenism, and I just wanted to follow up with you on that conversation. I had some questions I wanted to ask, but can you just give us a brief background on Givenism?
Well, ultimately, Givingism is an ism that I created because I didn't like particularly the way capitalism or socialism or even
Mm,
communism was done. And it was a big joke at first, but then as I took it to prayer and thought about it more, this whole beautiful thing came out, which is
yeah,
called Givingism.
yeah,
And Givingism doesn't actually replace any of the other isms. What it does is, one, it kind of harmonizes them, but what it does is it gives them a platform within to actually functionally work. So, like capitalism, there's a lot of abuse in capitalism because people think is there to make money. So typically, when people go to make money, people get abused, and that's the biggest gripe people have about capitalism. Where in Givinism, you still believe in business and everything else, but the purpose of business is to benefit yourself and others with your products and services. If that's your belief for business and profit is a byproduct, even though it's of course critical, or you're not going to be in business if you don't
right,
make any, but it's not the purpose you're in business. And if your purpose in business is to benefit people, you don't abuse people at the same time. Would
yeah,
make no sense. So it's a subtle change, but it dramatically affects how you do business and the results of business. And now business is something that benefits people versus people abusing people to make money. And
yeah,
then socialism, it's kind of where socialism says, hey, you're doing good. I'm going to take from you and give to somebody that isn't doing good. The problem is they don't really have a good qualifier on who that should be. So it could be somebody lazy just sitting on the couch and now I'm working hard for them. So that creates resentment and different things where if you do it the Givingism way, well, now all of a sudden, okay, I'm happy to help people and be socialistic, but I'll probably also have like barriers to that where if they're not participating in their own life and they're just wanting me to give my hand out, well, then I'm not going to participate.
yeah,
And so you can you should be very socialistic. It just should be done by a person, not a government.
Yeah. Yeah. You start your TEDx talk when you're explaining all of this. It seems like the foundation for this was you lived through real scarcity, and you even talk about homelessness for a season. When you look back on that, what did that season quietly shape in you, and to help you form and come up with Givenism?
Being homeless, I don't know if that shaped Givingism so much. I mean, it certainly shaped me because, I the reason I ended up homeless is because I was trying to find my way in life and I wasn't really happy and I was kind of lonely, even though I was stable, had a good family. But, and then I ran into some partiers and instantly I had like
Community.
my club and I was
Okay.
accepted and I was just so happy. And
Okay.
it was all a trick and a lie because it starts off happy partying and then all of a sudden, you know, tragedy crap starts happening and pretty soon I'm homeless because of it. And so I've tried all the different ways to find happiness and success in my life. And, cars, girls, partying and I found it was fleeting. Maybe some of it was fun, but there was a lot of carnage that came along with it. And so as I fought doing it God's way essentially because I thought I could find a better way. But in the end, he already had perfected the way. And Givingisms takes it to a step even higher. It's not just about finding happiness in your life. It's really about supporting others with their dreams and desires where you're going after yours,
Yeah.
where we all have a right for that.
Yeah. You talked about a moment when caring for others, caring for your employees, challenged everything you believe about business. What actually shifted for you in that moment? Like you were saying, like, we do business to beat the other guy to make more money. But for you, when you said it's about caring for employees and others, like that's pretty awesome. But what actually shifted for you in that moment?
Well, like most people, I thought, business is about competing, beating the other guy, and, making money. And all of a sudden I realized, oh, that's not true. In fact, that's the things that are most wrong with business. And then I realized if it's about benefiting yourself and others with your products and services, well, then I started, who are the others? And, in life and in business, I'm like, okay, there's the owners, there's the employees, there's the vendors, there's your like retailers if you have a product like me,
Hmm.
you know, and so now when I think about making decisions, I'm like, okay, if I make a decision, is anybody in that group of people going to be harmed?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it might be great for my company, but
Yeah.
if it runs my competitor out of business,
Yeah.
back when I first started, I'd be like, "Hey, man, I'm the man,"
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now I'd actually think that I was a failure if that happened
Uh,
because I actually was abusing somebody.
yeah.
It's one thing if they're incompetent and they go out of business. I didn't actually force them out of business,
Yeah.
or they just weren't capable. Okay, that's one thing. It's another thing when I'm actually literally, I mean, there's whole programs out there in marketing on how to run your competitor out of business. And I'm like, no, that's just wrong.
Yeah. How how does this change your definition of success? Because if success is, you know, about others, like how would you define success in light of this?
Well, so in the case of my employees in my talk, I talk about how we created a $5,000, uh,
Yeah.
basically they get $5,000 a year for schooling because most of my employees, 75% of my employees are entry level jobs, and so essentially, you're getting entry level pay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so you got to move into management to start making some good money. And well, I said, okay, let me help participate with you. I'll give you 5,000 a year towards, and after a couple years of schooling, when they get out of that, they have the skills now to probably make about twice as much money as what I was paying them when they first entered into my
Mhm.
business.
Mhm.
And so I'm really helping them on like that pathway to a better life. So I use my business to partner with my employees to ultimately, they might have to leave me in order to realize the double the money thing, unless I have an opening for them.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
course, if I do, I'll put them in. And if I don't, they got to go to a different company, but they're still bettering themselves, right?
Right. No,
And I got to help for at least while we were together.
that's such a great perspective. And I love in your TED Talk you asked that powerful question, why is giving usually an afterthought? So what changes when giving becomes the starting point instead of it being an afterthought? Because that's a
Let's
whole new
see.
way of thinking.
Yeah, there's a lot of opinions around like people with lots of money.
Mhm.
And, because it's like, oh, you don't need that much money. And my philosophy is no, I want to make as much money as I can because, my tagline is make more to give more. So my whole focus is, yeah, there's my life, my lifestyle and all that.
Mhm.
But at a certain point, unless you're just like living a ridiculous life, you got enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't look at it as now because enough's about just me. There's always more people out there. If I had more resources, I could help that many more people. So now
Yeah.
giving to me changes everything. And it's my focus of why I do things. It's not just about me.
Yeah.
But but also the more you partner, the more you prosper, as long as you partner with the right people.
Right.
And so you get a synergy of your effort, right? When more people work together. So like in my other company, which I call Givenism, which is a platform we're developing for e-commerce, the vendor, myself as the platform, and the consumer, we get to all partner together to where some of the money from that goes to a nonprofit of the consumer's choosing.
Mhm.
So, and the nonprofits, exist to help somebody get, they're stuck in life somewhere. It could be slavery, it could be homelessness, it could
Yeah.
be malnutrition, but that's a choke point that keeps people from prospering in their life.
Mhm.
And so partner with the nonprofit. So there's the four of us to where we can help that person get unstuck and now get back on the road to a better life.
So wow, so the platform wins, the vendor wins, and so the consumer wins, but then also a nonprofit wins. That gets multiple wins.
And the person the nonprofit is helping. It's really the vendor, myself, Givingism, the consumer, and the nonprofit. And yeah, we're all getting something out of the deal. But now also that person we're helping get unstuck gets something out of the deal too. So
That's
it's a
fantastic.
synergizes of everybody's efforts
Yeah.
and nobody's being left out essentially
Yeah.
either.
When I was reading the comments, like there's a bunch of comments on your TEDx talk. A lot of people were saying, like, "Man, we need to all have this perspective. We need to all build businesses this way." Like it's this is Givenism is a new. It seems like anyway, based off of the comments, like a new idea. What has to shift for people in order for us to be asking, like these givenism question. You know what I mean? Like how can I give, so that I win and they win? Like what has to shift for somebody?
Well, a couple things.
Okay.
So if you have a scarcity mindset, which a lot of people do, I swear it's born into us a little bit, and then we have to decide if we want to believe it or not. But a scarcity mindset says there's not enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, whether we're going after them or not, we're all born with dreams and desires that we want for our life. And if it comes down to like this, well, I want this in my life, but we can't all have it. Well, then I'm picking me first. And so you have to get rid of the scarcity mindset and realize that no, there is enough for everyone. And there's proof of both in one sense. But if you really look at it over the last, say, 25, 30 years, poverty and some real serious issues around the world have gotten 25% better. But yeah, I'm not suffering because those people are doing better.
Yeah.
My life's
Yeah.
also going. So really, there is enough for everyone. And so if you get rid of that, the need to be selfish goes away.
Yeah.
And then if it becomes about you and others, I
Yeah.
mean, there's a chance to partner. I mean, there's just so much benefit. So there isn't a lot that needs to come to. And you know what? Honestly, most of the world is already trying to do it. I
Yeah.
just give it definition,
Okay.
form by giving it some of the principles. But people are already trying to support companies that are doing good versus evil
Yeah.
and things like this already. So I'm just giving them how do we do it, with the tenants and different things on
Yeah.
how they can what is the mindset.
Yeah. You say in your talk that there are 19 guiding principles and one, all built on this foundation of making decisions that care so everyone prospers. Can you share a couple of those guiding principles? I mean, don't share them all because then, we want to drive people to buy your book when your book comes out. But would you mind sharing a couple just to kind of whet our appetite a little? Like, what are some of those guiding principles of Givenism?
Yeah, sure. Happy to. So one of them is, everything should be done in love. Because you know what, you're not really ever going to help somebody if you don't care about them. And otherwise, if you're helping someone because you want to get something out of the deal, well, you have really a selfish motive at that point, right? So if you're truly going to help someone, you need to care about the person. So that's one. One I like is you can't step on someone to prosper. In other words, there should be no abuse in you prospering. If you're abusing others to prosper, well, that sort of makes you one of the evil bastards in the world, I guess.
That's true.
And most people don't want to do that. A lot of people, ironically, I was with this company and they're about a $2 billion company, software
Hmm.
company.
Hmm.
And my friend was talking about when he sold his company, the company pulled a fast one on him because he says, oh, if you do all these things, the company's going to be twice as big. And so what
Yeah.
they said to him is, okay, tell you what, we'll pay you this amount based on you can get there, and we'll let you run the company for a few years to get there. And if you get there, then this is your payout. But if you don't get there, then we pay less, which sounds
Yeah.
fair, right?
Sure.
Well, what they did is as soon as they got control of everything, they took away all his resources so he had no way to succeed.
To hit, yeah.
And they started tanking the company so they could get it super cheap.
Yeah.
So he's telling the story, and the lady who's the president of this $2 billion company goes, oh, we do that all the time. Now, she just got an award for helping people get out of slavery.
Mhm.
Literally that night, she got this award for helping people get out of slavery. And so we all like, what? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Here, you're helping people and you're screwing people over here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she still had the belief that there wasn't enough for everybody, so she's like, "Oh, I hate doing it, but we do this because it betters our company
Yeah.
by screwing this company."
Yeah.
So, it's a mindset that's unfortunately in business when there's not enough for everybody. Sorry, dude, you're gonna get the short end of the stick compared to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
equal sticks.
Yeah, and sadly, it just happens everywhere, and it happens all the time. You know.
It's chronic.
Yeah,
That's why
what.
the name of my book is, the subcaption is A New Philosophy to end the epidemic of selfishness and scarcity mindset. Because it is an epidemic,
Yeah. Yeah.
because and it's based on one lie. There's not enough for everyone. It's the
Yeah.
main reason. And good people are doing bad things because they don't think they have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love the principle that I think this is one of the principles where you say when they win, you win, right? And I love like the line that you said, you get what you give.
Yeah.
Like I've
I
never
love that
heard
one
that
too.
before. Yeah, I've never heard that before. That's not the way that we naturally think about business, about, we want to be selfish. But
Well,
like,
that's because people don't understand the results in their life because they think it's based on their actions.
Yeah.
And so if I save $100,000 from my vendor because I chewed him really down on price good, I got $100,000 more. But what you're ignoring is the spiritual principles out there like karma and you reap what you sow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you screw someone to make money, it's sort of like the universe is now you've closed the door to some of your prospering.
Yeah.
Karma would say, hey, it's coming right back on you. And
Yeah.
people don't think about those things. So, you get the mindset of if I stole something, I got something. But if now that causes you not to be able to prosper for the rest of your life because you violated spiritual principles, you're
Yeah.
really screwing yourself,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for this book to come out, man. When's it coming out? I keep asking you.
Well, it's what is it? It's January now,
Yeah.
26. So it's the next few months.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this book and, getting the principles, and I mean, we've been talking about some of this stuff for years, and I
Right.
love that you're getting it out there, man. People are posting your stuff on social media. I see other people like, yeah, I know you're not posting the stuff, but other people are posting it for you, man,
Right.
and it's getting
Yeah.
out there. So,
I'm excited because I think it's actually what most people have been looking for, and they're trying to do it in their own way. And I'm just giving them some form and some bumpers and different things and the philosophies to operate by. It's not
yeah,
telling you how to do it because it should be
yeah,
unique to every person, and so their personality can be in it.
yeah,
But it does give you the tools to be able to do it right.
yeah. Well, you've really helped me. You've given me lots of ways to pray and things to think, and you've really helped me shape just the way that I see the world and myself and what God is doing. And like I've really enjoyed our conversations, and thank you so much for sharing about Givenism. And I hope people keep their eyes and ears open for your book. I know you're going to pump out more stuff, and so I'm excited to consume some of that. So I'm looking forward to learning more.
Yeah, that's true.
All right,
Oh,
man. Thanks for being on the show, my friend. And like maybe we could do this again.
anytime you want.
Yes, sir. All right. Thanks for checking out the show. If someone wants to get a hold of you, like what's the best way to do that?
Right now it's a little bit hard because we're just setting up
Okay.
the system for that. But if
All
if you
right.
pay attention on Instagram or anything else, you'll see ways to
Yeah.
connect.
Yeah, I think you have a Facebook page up, so you can follow that Facebook page. I'll link it in the show notes so that like people can like, just easily get to it, and all your information's out there.
Yeah, and there's ways like that. And if you do get the book and you have questions, certainly, they can post them there.
Yes, sir. Well, all right, man. Thank you for being on the show, and I look forward to reading more and learning more.
Yeah,
All right,
good
take
seeing
care.
you.